Hi folks, welcome back. Thank you for watching. Please do hit subscribe if you haven't done so yet. It really does help when you do that. So today folks, I've got a new guitar to show you because yesterday I went to my first ever guitar auction. And of course I bought loads of things on eBay over the years, but this was my first time at a proper auction house, a place called Gardiner Houlgate on the outskirts of Bath here in the UK. And it was a totally new and really quite exciting experience going to an in-person auction because you get your number, you sit in a room with other bidders, there's bidders online as well, and it's all being mediated by this auctioneer at the front of the room. So I was sat there for about 20 minutes until my lot came up, and you just kind of hold your number up and they spot you and you bid against people online. And yeah, it was just a really kind of different experience actually being at a proper auction. But long story short, I managed to win one of them. So after settling up, I went to this massive room rammed full of guitars. There's lots of really interesting stuff in there, like custom shop Gibsons and some old amps, some stuff being sold off by the band The Script. So it was a really cool place to be. But ultimately, I got hold of my new guitar, put it in the back seat of my car and drove it home. So this here is Lot 360, otherwise known as a Mike McGuire T-Style. So who is Mike McGuire? Well, just to clear up a slight area of confusion, there are two Mike McGuires. One of them ran the Gibson custom shop for quite a while. This is not him. This Mike McGuire is, I believe, a one-man operation based out of Las Vegas. And I dropped Mike an email last night and he was really good at getting back to me and answering my questions. I believe Mike started out as a guitar repairman in a Vegas guitar shop around 2002. And he quite quickly moved into building some really high-end Relic'd guitars for some of their customers. And when he ultimately left that shop, I think in 2007, McGuire Guitars was born and he started building his own instruments under his own name. And he's one of those luthiers that's not hugely well known. I believe he at once upon a time had a dealer here in the UK, Vintage and Rare Guitars in London and Bath. And for a while, Norman's Rare Guitars, who I'm sure many of you have come across online, were one of his dealers too. So he's had some really sort of high profile dealers, but still isn't hugely well known. But those who have experience of his guitars and have played them speak about him in the highest possible terms. Not just Fender custom shop quality, but Fender master built quality and beyond. And having got to know this guitar for probably about 12 hours, I can absolutely see why. Because you take a guitar that's had probably a set of 9s on it for the longest time. This was built in 2011, by the way. And you put my 12 through 64s on it. Generally, you need to adjust the truss rod and it takes days for the tuning to stabilise. I put the strings on last night, gave it a setup, and this morning it had not moved. It is rock solid. And these pickups in here sound incredible. I believe these are made by Mike himself. And overall, it's just a super high quality instrument. It plays like butter, it was super easy to set up, and it's just a wonderful sounding guitar. And it's also my first foray, or proper foray, into Relic'd guitars. If you look at the lacquer on here, it's completely checked and cracked, the hardware's aged. It just looks, sounds and feels really, really cool. Now, I might change a few things about it. Firstly, I know I'm going to change the pots because these are actually wired correctly. So you turn them clockwise to go to full volume and zero tone. I'm used to kind of going the other way in all of my guitars. Technically it's backwards, but it means I can use any normal right-handed pots with a correct taper. It's just what I'm used to. So I'm going to have to at least change the wiring on the pots to actually make it useful for me because I keep turning this thing down when I want to turn it up and all of that. I might experiment with changing the pickups out as well. I haven't decided yet, but these do sound really, really nice. So I'm going to leave them alone for now. And I wanted to show you how this guitar sounds in its completely stock form because I absolutely love this thing. So what I'm going to do today, folks, is the usual thing of putting this guitar through a few different amplifiers. I might throw a couple of pedals on just for a bit of interest, but I'm primarily just going to crank the amps up brutally loud here in the room and make some noise with this incredible T-style guitar. So without further ado, folks, here we go. we are, folks. Now, please do comment underneath. Let me know what you thought of this guitar today. Did you like how it sounded? Do you like the Relic job? Which amp was your favourite? I love chatting nerdy guitar stuff with you folks down in the comments section. Now, I am hugely impressed by this instrument. As I said, I've only owned it for less than 24 hours, but it plays like butter. It's super, super easy under the fingers. You can get the action super low without anything choking out up top. These hand-wound pickups sound phenomenal. And I really like the tasteful relic job. Relics aren't normally my thing, but it's just really well done. And it feels like a properly old, loved guitar. Just absolutely blown away by this thing. And as I said in the intro as well, I put my heavy strings on it last night and it has not moved at all. I think I only tuned it once today. It just stays rock solid. So hugely, hugely impressive. But as always, folks, those are just my thoughts. So please do let me know yours underneath. I love hearing from you guys on all this sort of stuff. So thank you ever so much for watching, folks. I hope this video was interesting and useful for you. Please do carry on subscribing. I know I always say it, but it makes a big difference when you hit the subscribe button. And I will see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.